Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to my final mixed-up Premier draft this time around. These are Magic Arena's version of the Chaos draft with a bunch of cards from all kinds of random sets in each pack. It's a pretty chaotic environment where you're going to be drafting just piles of complete and utter random chaos nonsense, and it can be a pretty fun, pretty interesting time. So without further ado, let's get into our pack 1 pick 1, which is a pretty weak pack overall, but we can certainly take a Skyfisher Spider. We do have to sacrifice a creature in order to use this, but if we do, we get a 4-mana 3/3 reach, and we blow up our opponent's best non-land permanent. Really nice removal, and the card is strong enough to be worth splashing in, so we will scoop it right up. Pack 1 pick 2, I am a huge fan of the Modern Age. Also, draw 4 is massive. Boon of the Wishgiver could be a pretty good card here. 6 mana, draw 4, cycle it for just 1 to draw a card. These are the most exciting cards to me for sure, and the awkward part is that they're both blue. We could go for Terramorphic Expanse to stay pretty flexible and have some good fixing, or Voltage Surge for a cheap removal spell. Amplifier is definitely the funniest card. We draft this and then try to draft a bunch of really high power, high toughness cards, but that is super hard to do in Limited. Even if you live the dream, this doesn't get trample or anything, so it just gets trumped the one time it becomes super massive. So Modern Age, I think, is the most consistent card since it's super cheap. It sets up your draws while you're playing it, and it's just a lot of good value for the cost, so you're going to get it in basically every game that you make it, or that you draw it, you're going to get to cast it. So I'm going to go for the Modern Age here. The Boon Giver thing, the problem with that is that there's definitely going to be some games where you just can't afford to play a 6-mana card. But Modern Age, as I was trying to say, fumbling over my words a bit, is a card you can always cast if you draw it in your game. You just have to have 2 mana. So now we have Skewer the Critics for a great cheap red removal spell, Annex Sentry for a great cheap white removal spell that comes with a creature attached, or Skittering Surveyor or Cabaret Courtyard for excellent fixing. I think these are the best 4 cards. Lawmage's Binding is good as well, but is a multicolored removal spell. I'd definitely take a monocolored removal spell over that. I think I'm going to go for Annex Sentry here. Obviously, if they end up killing the Annex Sentry in any way, then they're going to get whatever you exiled back, but most of the time, this is a great 2-for-1 for quite some time, locking out their threat as long as it stays on board, so take the Annex Sentry. Second Skyfisher Spider? Well, I mean, if you're going to give me 2 of them, I think I can commit to an archetype. There's a Blood Curdle here, though, as well, which was an insanely good removal spell and doesn't require us to be in green. This is honestly maybe even stronger than Skyfisher Spider in a vacuum. If you have a really good amount of token production, then Skyfisher Spider's better, but this is so easy to use. It's instant speed as well. You do get additional value instead of just killing something. The only thing I don't like about this is that I am passing a Skyfisher Spider, so we probably don't get to go black-green Skyfisher Spider the deck without some competition there, because somebody else is probably going to take the other one, but this also leaves me open to being blue-black or white-black or any combination there. This leaves me open to not having to be green as a main color, because I can just play a white-black Annex Sentry Blood Curdle deck or a blue-black Modern Age Blood Curdle deck and just splash in a Skyfisher. If I take another Skyfisher, pretty confident I'm trying to just be green-black up front. So pack 1, pick 5, there's a Whisper of the Dross, which is not going to kill a lot of stuff, but the Proliferate's sometimes good if you find +1/+1 counter cards. I don't see a lot of those here. I think Call the Cavalry is probably the best card. 4 mana for 2 2/2s with Vigilance. It's your miniature Imperial Oath, not quite as good, but gives you a wide board state for pretty cheap. Not a super strong pack here. I'll take Call the Cavalry. Pick 6 now. I really like Aven Oddity. Actually, no. I just think the card's really cool. I'll probably still take it. The pack's not super strong. Cultivator's okay ramp. Wolf Strike is okay removal, but if I'm in green, I'm probably in green-black. And the big issue with these green removal spells is you can't really play them when your opponent's not tapped out. ideally. Because if they have an instant speed removal spell like a Blood Curdle in response to your Wolf Strike, they just completely counter your Wolf Strike and kill your creature, which is devastatingly bad. So I'll just go for Avian Oddity and push towards blue-black here, I think. I like the Oddity. It's flexible, it's a solid flyer, those things are just great. Speaking of things that are flexible and solid flyers, we can just take a Dreamtail Heron here. 5 mana for a 3/4 flyer isn't great, but 4 mana to upgrade one of your other creatures into a 3/4 flyer and draw a card. Pretty good deal. Take a Dreamtail Heron. Happy with that. Now there is a Slaughter Singer, which just isn't going to work in this format. There's a Boggart Brute, pick 8. 3 mana, 3/2 menace is just a good stat line. I think those are the best 2 cards, but Machine Over Matter could be played even if we're just in blue. It's a fine bounce spell. I don't know, I'm probably not playing this, but I'm still going to take Boggart Brute. I'm not a huge fan of like 2 mana bounce spells. Anyway. Take one of these Whisper of the Drosses. Or a really dorky filler green creature. That's kind of it. Hazardous Blast is a win condition and a board stall, but again, I don't think I'm really heading towards red right now. Kind of the one color I'm not that interested in diving into currently. I think I have pretty good reasons to be in every other color, but now seeing Voltage Surge is one of the few cards left in this pack. Pretty good sign for red. So maybe I do get that speculation there. Suit Up's a great blue combat trick, though. Much better in its self-contained format where you have ninjutsu to go with it, but still good. I'm gonna go for Voltage Surge over it. We'll stay open. If we get like Skewer the Critics, pick 11, I mean, we've got to go to red at that point. That's insane. Skewer the Critics, pick 11 for this burn spell. What am I doing here? I like the Divination draw 2. Solid value. This is a 2 mana 2/2 that probably doesn't do anything else. This is a fine combat trick though. Combat trick plus draw a card. I mean, seeing all this late red, I'm almost 100% on the red pivot, so I'll take Blazing Crescendo because it'll almost definitely make the cut. So I'm going to go red and then whatever secondary color. I'm not going to have a lot of +1/+1 counters for the Clan Crusher. We'll take a Whisper of the Dross again. Take a Spear Spewer for aggro, or Swiftwater. Oh, I should probably take Swiftwater Cliffs for fixing. Alright. Could be red-white, red-blue, red-green. It would have taken an incredible bomb rare to get me to move into red-green, but Phylath World Sculptor is an incredible bomb rare. It's like a 6 mana 5/5 that comes with like 4 to 6 0/1s. And then whenever you play a land, you put 4 +1/+1 counters on one of them. So you just immediately, it's a 5/5 and a 4/5. And then the next land you play, you have another 4/5. This card's completely ridiculous. And I guess we're playing green. Maybe we're still just splashing the green if I can find cards like Energy Refractor and Prophetic Prism. But we're 100% playing Phylath. So I'm pretty happy to have gotten all these just solid red cards nice and late. So that we can have one of these two as a core color of our deck, so we only have to splash in one of those 2 colors. Pack 2, pick 2. There is no good mana fixing in this pack. Very little when it comes to off-color cards that are particularly exciting, so I guess we're taking a Tybalt's. 3 mana, get 2 1/1s that deal 1 any target when they die. It's not incredible, but Tybalt's fine.
Enjoy yourself and live like a king.
And I am now going to have to start sorting by color to figure out what on earth I'm doing. And pack 3 is where we can get really worried about our mana curve and everything. Okay, red-black is the most likely, but I don't really want to play Whispers or Cutthroat, so actually red-blue I think has the highest quality. Red-blue or red-white. So let's see. None of these red cards are great, but Pack Mastiff could be fine. Don't like these blue cards much. Aether Theorist is solid. Gnarlid Colony's okay. I think Apostle of Purifying Light. Probably the most exciting card, though, because if we're playing against black, it's just going to ruin their day. And it's always going to be some graveyard hate, which is cool. Maybe with Phylath, though, I should try to see if I can be red-green at the core and take the Gnarlid Colony. But I already have 2 excellent white cards. And I can just splash in Phylath, so I'll take Apostle. But I can definitely see the argument for just taking a green card. Now we have a Mizzium tank. When you cast a non-creature spell, this crews itself. Good if you're aggro. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 non-creature spells in red, 1 in white. Mizzium tank might be pretty cool. It's that or a plate armor, so it's kind of like an equipment / vehicle either way. As the card. Devkar and Dissident is super filler for green. Oh no, Cloud Conceer in blue though. Wait a second. Now there actually is excellent blue towards blue-red. I'm going to take Cloud Conceer. That card is so good. 3 mana, 2/1 flyer, and you draw a card when it hits the board is insane. Speaking of cards that are really good, now we have a Fateful End. 3 mana instant, 3 to any target, and scry 1. Slam dunk that in, but Lavakin Brawler was also really good in its draft format. There was a really nice like red, green, blue elementals archetype, and we actually have some elementals here. Dreamtail Heron, Cloud Conceer, and Phylath. So that's kind of cute, but it's definitely Fateful End. So 3 mana, 2/3. If we have another warrior, then it buffs itself up. There is no fixing. Once again, I guess there's Windscarred Crag towards red and white. But I'm looking more red-blue now. I could try to play Whirler Maker, but that is incredibly slow. Maybe Cascade Seer. It's like a Scry 1 at worst. Very good, but I don't know. Fills out our deck. It's kind of all I'm getting out of that pack is something that just sort of fills out the deck a bit, I guess. And that's it. Tiger Tribe Hunter is really good if you attack with power 6 or greater, then you just fling whatever you want. I guess it only flings towards creatures. Maybe not incredible. Voltaic Brawler is really good if we go red-green, but I have 1 green card right now. I would probably just rather take another Izzet Guildgate or an Altar of the Pantheon. Let's take an Izzet Guildgate. Chandra's Outrage very easily. As we saw pack 1, this is a draft pod where I'm supposed to be in red. 4 mana, 4 damage to a creature, deal 2 to the controller. We got so much good red stuff late pack 1, and now once again, we're just getting a lot of it early this time. Pack 3 might be incredible for us if red remains as open as it was in pack 1. Now we have to take a pretty filler creature no matter what I'm doing. Or just the Infuriate combat trick, I guess. I'm just going to take a Zulaport Duelist. It adds to the party size. Could be okay. Cultist adds to the party size and draws us a card when it trades off, which is fine. None of the off-color cards are good. Alright, the only cards left here, period, are on color. I can take Aether Theorist to set up our deck with some scrying. Could be spicy. Could take Pack Mastiff to be more aggressive, but I think I like getting more scry-y, card draw-y towards just doing Phylath stuff. Oh, this card is so good if you're playing against red or green, but literally does nothing if you're not. Take the Starlit Mantle. I don't like any of those, though. Oh my god, now we have Lavakin Brawler or Hellpack Wolf. Don't think I'm playing any of these, but I'll take the Lavakin Brawler for nostalgia, and also because we do have some elementals. Now I've got some warriors. Sure Strike is also fine for this deck. What do I have out of this pack? While I'm just sorting my whole deck here. We have got multiple options. Pigment Storm, Graven Lore. That's just going to be 5 mana instant, draw 3, which is okay, but we don't get any of the scry, which is not great. Probably Falcon Abomination, honestly. 3 mana, 2/2 flyer, get a Decayed Zombie. We don't do much with a Decayed Zombie, but still get at least 1 attack with it. It's just a lot of stats. It's pretty nice. I think I take Falcon Abomination, see if we can't wheel a Prismari Campus. Sky Scanner's going to get scooped up real quick. Maybe we're even supposed to take the Sky Scanner over Falcon Abomination. That's an interesting question between those two, which is better. But they're both great. Desert of the Mindful is pretty awesome. A land that we can cycle away when we're flooding out. Bombard is also great. 3 mana instant, 4 to a creature. That's about it. I think I'm going to take Bombard here. Don't think we'll wheel the Desert of the Mindful, but maybe. Frost Trickster is an insane card. 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer, and it stuns something. Taps it down, locks it down for a turn when it hits the board. Card is just stupid good. For its mana cost. Great tempo play. I think I'm dropping Starlit Mantle. It's kind of the only thing I really want to cut there. I want to find green fixing. It's Magma Spray. I guess since I'm already splashing in Phylath, I could splash in Niall, but much less exciting when you don't have 5 domain. It's just gonna, whenever I hit my opponent, I scry 3. It's not that good. Yeah, I'm just gonna take Magma Spray. Although Spirewinder is a very good flyer. 4 mana, 3/4 flying is a really good deal. And it will be that if you draw it late in the game. But I'll take Magma Spray. Super efficient burn. Super efficient removal in general. Pretty good. Pretty important. So we might have to just play like 3 forests in here, but we have card draw, which helps us a lot. Some scrying and stuff going on. Snow Day is a pretty big late game card. That's pretty excellent. Eyes of Gataxis is a great early game value play. Secrets is like right in the middle. You can play it early to draw 2 or late to draw 3, and it's excellent at either time. Essence Scatter is a great counterspell. This is just a beautiful Snow Day, Scatter, Secrets, Eyes. Mad Ratter's great if we have a bunch of just draw a card every turn. I've got a couple right now. I think I'd rather take Eyes of Gataxias here and try to wheel the Mad Ratter and just have as many just draw 1 card spells in here as possible. Ooh, speaking of draw 1, I really like Striped Riverwinder. This card was insane in Amonkhet draft. So you can cycle it if you don't have 7 mana, which is pretty important for a card that costs 7 mana to have that flexibility. But if you do have that 7 mana, this is a great finisher because your opponent cannot target it with any removal because of its hexproof. So it's just like a guaranteed way to keep chipping in. Ooh, we could be a Seize the Storm deck. I don't know if we should be a Seize the Storm deck, but I'm gonna try. Seize the Storm is super, super fun. I should probably just take Desert of the Fervent or something here. But Seize the Storm, get an XX, where X is the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard, and the number of flashback cards you have in exile. So mainly you just play a ton of instants and sorceries and then use this as your big finisher. We've got a decent start to that. It's not as early in the draft as I'd like to be to try to do that, but got like 10 instant sorceries, yeah. So, not bad. Probably Spirewinder. Explosive Welcome's cool, but 8 mana I think is just way too much, even when I'm trying to do the Seize the Storm thing. So we'll take the Spirewinder. I could take a red-green duel now. Prismari Campus is nice too, though. Being able to scry throughout the game's great. We also still have Pigment Storm towards the Seize the Storm nonsense. This is wild. I'm gonna take the Highland Forest, though. I think I was trying to grab that Pigment Storm at the last second. Kind of changed my mind a little bit towards Seize the Storm. Alright, fine counterspell. Our deck is so open, it's nuts. So this would be good in general, but it's really bad with Seize the Storm. So I'll just take the Fire NATO, which is basically just the the 5 mana 5 damage burn spell we passed up on, so we can just get a different copy anyway. This one scries one, which might even be better. We get the Niall if we really want to splash that in too. And there's Mad Ratter. Bunch of random card draw for it. I think I'd rather just go Snow Day towards digging towards Seize the Storm though. Get more on that line of things. Then another Fire Nado. Up the instant sorcery count. We get a Desert of the Fervent last pick. That is criminal. That is criminal. Cycling lands are solid. I guess we kind of established earlier that we might be like the only red drafter. Probably not, but it felt like a little bit. So let's sort our non-creature spells out here and then probably just cut all of our most mediocre creatures to keep that instant and sorcery count super high. Alright, so this is our 48 card deck. Let's cut our most mediocre creatures. I've got 4 elementals, so Lavakin Brawler, not the greatest. Cascade Seer as well, trying to assemble a party when we're going to be on a low creature count deck. Not going to work out super well, but I'll keep the 4 mana flyers. And the Dreamtail Heron is a 5 mana flyer. Striped Riverwinder and Phylath are definitely staying in as well. Then Expedition Champion, not a lot of other warriors. It's kind of just a 3 mana 2/3, not great. Brute is evasive, Trickster's evasive, Abomination's evasive. Cultist, kind of just a chumper. We can drop that out of here. Modern Age sets up our draws really well with that draw discard twice in a row. I like that a lot. I'll cut Duelist. We'll cut Theorist as well. Now 2 more cards. I don't think I want to cut any more of these creatures, so we go Magma Spray, Voltage Surge. Maybe cut some combat tricks, like Sure Strike. I'd rather keep Crescendo over Sure Strike, I think. For that card draw attached. Cancel could be a cut, but I do have a lot of instant speed burn, so it should be kind of easy to hold up cancel. Tybalt could be a cut, because he's not an instant or a sorcery. And then we've got 2 Fire Nados. I could cut one of those. Curve's awkward here, but this deck's going to be cool. You know, I could just cut more creatures, just cut the 4 mana flyers and really be all in on trying to hit Seize the Storms with a bunch of stuff in grave. Or just trying to scry or draw into a Phylath because we've got a lot of card draw and scrying going on. I think that's a pretty fine spot to be. Actually, I'd rather cut Dreamtail Heron. With the lower creature count, there's just less stuff to mutate onto to get the card draw and be particularly valuable. So we'll do that. We'll cut Dreamtail Heron Sure Strike and make sure our mana's good, but I think since we have double blue-red duels, we're at plenty of blue and red sources. 9 red sources and 6, 7, 8 blue. That's pretty ideal, and we have 3 green sources, even with those many, or that many of our main colors. Pretty awesome. Yeah, like the mana base, like the deck, we will call it a deck here. Alright, here's a look at our final deck list for today. This is going to be a really nice blue-red spells deck splashing in Phylath World Sculptor. So our primary win condition is to play a bunch of great burn spells, some solid card draw, and a counter spell or 2 for other kinds of interaction, like cancel here. Card draws cards like Snow Day, Eyes of Gataxias, Blazing Crescendo draws a card, Modern Age sets up our draws, stuff like that. Trying to find Seize the Storm as a big finisher late in the game, giving us 2 creatures off the 1 card, both of which can potentially be pretty big. But outside of that, as I was saying before, we can use our scry, our card draw, our draw and discard to help dig into a green source and slam down a Phylath as well as a massive win condition. So we've got a main plan, we've got a backup plan, we've even got a tertiary plan of just being a regular blue-red flyers tempo deck. Bunch of flyers that lock things down or draw a card when we hit the board, stuff like that. And then we can just use a bunch of removal spells alongside them. So looks like a really nice deck that can attack on multiple different fronts, and it should be a really fun way to finish off these mixed up Premier drafts. So without further ado, let's head into the gameplay and see how it does. Here we are for game 1, and I'll definitely keep this hand. We're on the draw, and I think that's going to be a pretty big downside for our deck. Because the worst part about our deck is our mana curve in general. Basically doesn't start until 3 mana and up. And that issue is going to be exacerbated when we're on the draw, because our opponent gets to start playing 2 drops on turn 2, and we gotta wait several turns before we're doing anything. Yep, most decks are going to start with 2 drops on turn 2. Now our cheap red burn spells can help with that a lot, and drawing a Voltage Surge here is great. I'm just going to kill Sir Farron before they have the mana up to potentially do a hexproof trick or something. Because Sir Farron could potentially be attacking for basically 4 damage. They have to have another creature to buff up with it, but Sir Farron will provide 4 damage off of his trigger. So they play some 1/1s here, which is fine. I don't really think I need to hold cancel up yet, and I don't have any instants to play if I don't end up canceling, so I'm going to play Cloudkins here for now. Try to get a little bit ahead in cards. There's a Blanchwood Armor on the Brushwag, which is a 4/4. Just too big for Skewer the Critics. Mono green Blanchwood Armor the deck might just beat my soul apart here. I'm gonna have to find some instant speed burn to stack up onto the Brushwag. That's probably my best bet. So we could play the Modern Age and an island and cycle the Desert of the Fervent. Might be the idea here. Find something to deal with this Brushwag. Fateful End, there's the instant speed burn. Drop the Swiftwater Cliffs. Go island, cycle the desert. One of the big issues with trying to burn the Brushwag is that if they get to the 4 mana, it's really not going to happen. Unless they tap out for another creature post-combat. Okay. Find our forest, that could be good. Ooh. Hold on. Find Blazing Crescendo, which could be really good. Probably get rid of Skewer and keep the 5 damage sorcery. So now I can Blazing Crescendo or Fateful End while holding up Cancel. Can't do both of these though because I don't have double red, which was kind of self-imposed. Crescendo plus Cancel should be good enough here. Wolf Strike. I can't kill the Brushwag in response, so I have to just fully counter this. Now I Crescendo. Find a Chandra's Outrage, but I don't have a second red, so that's a rough draw. Yeah. Goodbye, Chandra's Outrage. I did have to fully 2-for-1 myself to deal with that, which is not what I wanted to happen. And it'll say exiled, so it doesn't even add to my instant sorcery count in grave for later. It's very sad. Let's just get our Spire Winder down. I don't need to Fateful End to 1/1, I can just trade into it. Or I could take one every turn for a little while. I'm at 9. It's a 9-turn clock by itself, and I can hold up Fateful End against future combat tricks. If they try to surprise me with lethal later. Probably just take the damage. Go to 8. Okay, Boggart Brute is the play. This will be my 9th permanence. So I'll take the one from Sedge Scorpion again. Try to find any permanents off the top to get Spire Winder really going. Intrepid Provisioner does not buff a Scorpion, so we just take one. Down to 7. There's another red source. Pretty great. But I don't have the mana to hold up Fateful End. I think... Still gonna Fire NATO. Well... By Fateful End, I still have Fire NATO for something bigger, and they are a green deck, so that's probably more important than being able to do this at instant speed. Keep a Frost Trickster for sure. That's gonna be incredible. See if they can +6/+6 here, but if not, Frost Trickster on top means that I think we got this on lock. Might be some overconfidence here. Some classic Theros-style hubris. Down to 6. We have lethal on the board, but they do have the predation to kill the Spirewinder. So now it'll take 2 attacks to kill them. 2 attacks whether or not I play the Trickster, but Trickster makes it more likely to be lethal through a removal spell, so we play it even though we're not getting the value of the enter the battlefield effect. Our opponent does find their second color, their red source now. Was considering that they could have been mono green because they did just drop down a Blanchwood armor on us, which is stronger the heavier into green you are, and can incentivize you to be mono green. Ooh, gain 5 life is a big deal. Because now it takes 2 turns to kill them. I mean, we Fire NATO that. But it'll take 2 turns to kill them now. Maybe you should have held the Boggart Brute back to play around a 6-power haste creature. I don't know what they could have for a 6-power haste creature outside of like a rare. Cleanup Crew, 6/6 and gain 4. Go up to 5, but that's still dead on board. Send in the squad, and that'll end the game. We're going to start things off 1-0, getting a nice blue-red evasive threat tempo victory for our first game. And here we are for game 3. Got that Phylap and the Seize the Storm. See if Modern Age can find us the lands we need throughout this game. And I'm pretty happy to just discard expensive instants and sorceries, because that'll still fill the grave for Seize the Storm if nothing else. Find a Cloudkin Seer if I hit 1 more mana, that's going to be beautiful. Yep, discard the 5-drop instant / sorcery. Got a lot of draw steps to find land 3, 4, and 5. Because I've drawn 1 card naturally. Now I've drawn an extra off Modern Age. I'll draw 1 next turn and 1 off Modern Age, and if I hit a land out of those, I'll draw another off Cloudkin Seer. Then I have my next draw step. Got a lot of opportunities to dig through our deck looking for the lands that we need. Unclaimed territory on dogs as the creature type? They have the pack leader, drafted a bunch of dogs. Ah, how do I miss that many land drops in a row? Alright, well that's really bad. So now we cycle the Striped Riverwinder, and if I miss again, that's starting to get insane. Alright, there we go. Was a really pivotal turn to hit, though, because it would have meant we played Cloudkin Seer, which would have been really good, but I guess playing Cloudkin Seer next turn is still not that bad. But we could have easily curved out Cloud Conceer into Spirewinder and had a really good time these last couple turns. That is not going to be the case anymore. Wow, alright, we do not have a lot of lands. Kept a 2-lander, we've dug, let's see, 1, 2, 3, plus 4. We drew 7 more cards and found 1 land out of 7. Not what we are wanting to see this game. But we're still not under much pressure, so this could end up just being advantageous in the end. If they've got a slower start as well, where they're not going to play anything too scary, but there you go. 4 or 5 lifelinkers, pretty scary. And it's going to be a bad time. Blazing Crescendo is enough to make one of these big enough to trade in single-handedly, and I probably just want to hold up my instants and sorceries here. Yeah, I don't have enough mana to play anything alongside Blazing Crescendo except for Voltage Surge anyway. Combat Professor. Happy to see that pre-combat so I don't have to do any math about what the best blocks would be with combat tricks, because now we just know there's no combat tricks. We're good. We're chilling. So, if that's the case, we trade the smaller flyer off. See what we draw off a Blazing Crescendo. Another land. That is a good one for sure. Find a Snow Day. Now I can Falcon Abomination and hold up Voltage Surge, or Spirewinder and hold up the Voltage Surge. Trying to get to 10 permanents to make this a 3/4. It's going to take some time. I guess Falcon Abomination really helps get to the 10 permanents, so we'd probably go Abomination even if it isn't mana efficient. Pass there. Trade Abomination and a Voltage Surge into the Combat Professor. The Macy Unicorn on the ground is super fine. Necrosynthesis. That gets bigger whenever a creature dies. Now I'm tempted to Voltage Surge the Unicorn and just double block the Professor. Probably where it's at. Oh, they get to put a card in their hand when it dies? Oh, that was a misplay. I did not read all 8 lines of text. I only read the first part. I could have Voltage Surged in response before it resolved and they wouldn't have drawn a card. That would have been incredible. Because then we actually do get a 2-for-1, but now it's just a 1-for-1 because they get to redraw a card off of it. Wow, that was a bad punt. Just trying to play a little quicker here. I should probably read all of the cards that I'm not 100% familiar with. Still think we're in the lead, but we're losing some extra edges that we shouldn't be. Tybalt really works our way up to the City's Blessing. And I think we're just like there. It's 9 permanents, yep. They could poke Tybalt for 1 with the Sanitarium Skeleton, which is fine with me. I don't really care that Tybalt stops their life gain. He's just here to make 2 devils, and he can still do that if he takes 1 damage. The 3 Weird Sisters. That's a phenomenal bomb rare. They draw them an extra card. They can make each player sack a creature. They can transform into a flying Death Touch Lifelinker. Now I need to find another removal spell. Well, there we go. Ask and you shall receive, I guess. They've got 1 mana up. Doubt it saves them for 1 mana. Yep. Now I can keep a Bombard.
Oh, they're so cute.
Okay. That was a really lucky draw there. I guess not really, because there was a Bombard underneath it, so I guess our deck is kind of just full of burn to kill something like that. Magic Read is just telling us we've got a lot of burn when we scry with our burn spell into another burn spell. Yeah, you can gain as much life as you want. Goodbye, Tybalt. I could trade a devil into a skeleton,
Death.
but I don't really want to do that because the skeleton can just keep coming back. God's Hall Guardian, 3/6 vigilance, so devils can't get through that. 1, 2, 3, 4 instant sorceries. This will be 5 once I've played Seize the Storm. Make a 5/5 trampler. Got an instant speed bombard that makes it a 6/6. It's probably stronger than a 3/4 flyer. Let's start seizing the storm. There's my elemental friend. It's actually really spooky looking. Big angry lightning skeleton thing. I guess that's how you know it's from Innistrad and not Ravnica, where it would be a big steam ball with googly eyes on it. Pretty suspicious, I think. What are you trying to do? You trying to ninjutsu here, or are you trying to -4/-4 or something? I've got follow-ups if this thing dies. Nah, maybe it's a Blade Brand or something. That would be extra annoying. I'm just gonna hope it's not ninjutsu. If it's ninjutsu, that's a masterful bluff. But if it was ninjutsu, they would have been able to do it last turn, too. I guess you can't ninjutsu if you're attacking a planeswalker. Never mind. Ooh, Chandra's Outrage. I'm still hitting a very low amount of lands, but I'm actually pretty chill with that at this point in the game. Don't have to cast one of these spells to beat the God's Hall Guardian, so if they just block, they're just gonna get the bounce there, and that's chill. Here's a Spirewinder. Uh-oh, blue source for our opponent. Wait, they still haven't played a dog for their unclaimed territory. Alright, if they're gonna Blade Brand, let's... This is still gonna be a 5/5. You know what? Fine. You can Blade Brand my 5/5, can't Blade Brand my Spirewinder. Night Market Aeronaut. Okay, so just trying to get a Revolt trigger. Buff that up. There's land 6, which is beautiful. You can Snow Day and hit for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Not dead yet, but it's a lot of damage. This draws 2, discards a card, looking for another land here, looking for a green source. And it hits even harder than I thought because I got to discard an instant / sorcery. Blow up my Spirewinder, take 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's Still a lot of damage. They're down to 7 here. They would have been down to 4 without a removal spell. Unforgiving One, 2/3 Menace, and that's it. And there's the Sanitarium Skeleton going back to the hand. Probably jumping onto the board, but that's 5 toughness. If they block as much damage as possible, they still get trampled for 2, and then take 4 from the other 4 cards. That is lethal. Exact lethal on board without me doing anything else this turn. I've got plenty of ways to make it well over lethal. So they are going to concede here. They're going to scoop them up. And we are now 2-0. This time with a victory a little bit more on the blue-red spells side of things, plural. With a bunch of burn spells and our gigantic Seize the Storm token. So that was pretty sweet. 2-0 as we head into game 3. And here we are now for game 3. We've got excellent cheap red removal spells to keep the path clear, and a Cloudkin Seer to get things rolling in the sky. Blazing Crescendo has been pretty great for us on blocks over and over, so that could also help us kill a larger creature. We'll see what's coming up. There's a Lantern Bearer. I'll happily just exile that. And, ooh, Swiftwater Cliffs. Get my tap land out of the way. They are blue-white. Let's get the Cloudkin Seer down. We've drawn into a Seize the Storm, so that's going to be our big win condition this game. Ooh, now I have a Cancel to hold up, with basically nothing to do during my turn anyway. Pilgrim of the Ages, that one's a little annoying, because I don't really want to shoot it, because it can come back later for 6 mana. Grind out a lot of value, but it does take quite some time until it comes back. So it might be worth Voltage Surging. I'm not going to do it though, I'll just take my 2. But I don't think it would be super unreasonable to Surge it. Counter their draw 2, keep them off extra cards. I think I'm going to do that here, because if I hit a land, then I just tap out for Seize the Storm and don't hold up the cancel. If I don't hit a land, it's awkward. Could Crescendo looking for the land, and worst case scenario, this fills the grave for Seize the Storm a bit as well. There is the land for turn. Yeah, our Seize the Storm tokens are going to be massive if they don't have a bounce spell. They should be pretty great. It's locked in the cemetery. Keep the Cloudkin Seer tapped. Here's Highland Forest if we hit our green card. Here's Seize the Storm. Please no counter. No counter. It's a 4/4 for now, but we have 3 more spells in our hand to make it a 7/7 if we cast them all. Realm Breaker's Grasp, so there goes that one. But I can still flash back and make another when I hit another land, which is not yet. Dang, I wish I had another way to exile one of their creatures, because the fact that this Pilgrim can just come back to their hand over and over, it's a big bummer. It's 6 mana to do it, so they won't be doing anything else, but yeah, I'm gonna Fire NATO. I'm gonna get it out of the way in Scry. Oh, hello Phylath. Well, I'll keep a Phylath. Now next turn they just get to hold up all their mana for a potential counterspell though, because they know that if they don't do anything with their mana, they can just put the Pilgrim back in their hand anyway. So cross our fingers they don't have a counterspell in hand with their blue deck. Please don't. We know they didn't have one earlier, because I think they had the mana up for a counter earlier. Oh. it just could only counter creatures. Well, that's a bummer. At least it cost them enough mana that they couldn't, like, counter it and return the Pilgrim to their hand. There's land 7 for Seize the Storm, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Which would be great if it resolves. That Voltage Surge up in here. Tyrannica. So if they have any 2 creatures, the second creature's a 4/4 with Indestructible every turn, which is really scary. Well, I want to tap out for Seize the Storm, so I'm going to go for the instant speed removal on that. Because I definitely am going to want to kill it. And this way I can afford to Seize the Storm. Oop. Maybe I should have played the land in case they have counter unless I pay 1. Works out fine, though. They just have Capture Sphere. Okay. The brutal part about this is I think they're going to beat me just because they have a Pilgrim of the Ages. I think that one card is going to grind out this game, because otherwise we just keep 1-for-1 in each other overall. Oh! Okay, well at least I get to die to a Mythic Bomb Rare instead of Pilgrim of the Ages. Ooh, maybe not. Ward 1? Alright, I'm going back to dying to Pilgrim of the Ages. Dang, could you imagine if we had enchantment removal in this deck? No, stop top decking. You were empty-handed. You're not supposed to hit a flyer that is too beefy for my burn spell off the top. Such a bummer. Supposed to just hit more lands, as I have. Take 3 down to 12. Oh my god, stop. Miss on your draw, just use your Pilgrim, please. I'm begging you. So 3/4 flyer bounces off of their 3/4 flyer. So I would have had it out for the first flyer, but they had to go and draw 3 in a row, Rafine into Watcher into Ominous Sphinx. So I could deal with the first 2 of those 3. Grind it out. Okay. I've dealt with all the flyers. We are back to the Pilgrim winning. I'll keep you all updated as things change. Okay, here comes the Pilgrim. It's winning the game. Slowly. Grinding things out here. There's a Tybalt's. That's kind of spicy.
My friend is here to help your pain.
So now they can't attack with the Pilgrim and the Watcher. They can only attack with one of the 2, which means I just block and kill the Pilgrim. If they do, and if they don't, then we're chilling, staring at each other, which stops the Pilgrim value. Yeah, Tybalt was a huge draw to stop Pilgrim from doing anything. So we're back into the top deck war. They find a Wanderlight Spirit, which is good. I don't think it changes things immediately, though. We've got a few cards that are pretty massive outs here. The main one being Snow Day. That would just immediately be incredible, but Frost Trickster would be a pretty big deal. Striped Riverwinder, pretty big deal. Hopefully they don't have too many more big outs, because they've already hit some really strong cards. Tyrannica, Rafine, Ominous Sphinx. Okay, well, I mean, take our free block, let them get their land here. Just grind out that value. Alright, they are doing the Pilgrim of the Ages grind, but not in a way where we're taking any damage while they do it, which is good. And I could Fire NATO the Watcher and try to outrace them with the Spirewinder. Maybe I should have just done that immediately when I hit the Fire NATO. Uh-oh. We do not like seeing them draw another 2 here. Well, that's disastrous. Stun the Spirewinder. And we just take 5 guaranteed, 2 turns in a row. And then we're just super dead to the wide board state. Something dies when it's targeted by a spell specifically. Wow, and they have the ice over to keep the Spirewinder tapped. Good grief. Okay, well, no, I just have to Fire NATO to not die. But they've had multiple creatures here, so we're still pretty much dying. I'll hold this land in case I draw Snow Day. Yeah, that divination was phenomenal for them here. Divination into 2 more creatures. Yeah, I probably didn't play this out ideally. We should have Fire NATO'd earlier and been on attacks, but then our Spirewinder would have gotten ice overed long ago. Because I imagine that was just stuck in their hand until they can get it tapped, because it doesn't do anything until it's already tapped. So I think I was playing under the wrong idea, but I think things panned out about as good as they would have, even if I had played my best here. This game might just mostly have come down to that they had the Essence Scatter ready at the right time, because if they hadn't scattered a Phylath, the rest of their removal just doesn't work against it. We would still be getting 4+1/+1 counters every time we play a land. So if they didn't have a scatter, Phylath would have really gotten there with the saplings. Well, can't win them all. Still get kinda close against a really high card quality deck with all this nonsense. So I'll take it. And Arena clearly doesn't want us to have a single shot. We're just going to find 3 or 4 lands in a row to finish the game up. We are now 2-1 as we head into game 4. Here we are now for game 4. Pretty terrible mana in the opener, but we've got Voltage Surge at least. Might keep it on the draw, but on the play that mana is just way too rough. We'll keep this. Multiple creatures that draw a card when they hit the board. I think I keep the removal. Roll from there. There's a Seize the Storm. There's a game plan right there. Playing against the black-white deck again. Hopefully no blue sources this time. Uh-oh, Spar's Adjudicators. So they've got blue, green, white, and black mana available now. There's an Aether Theorist. Which doesn't do much. They are stuck on 2 mana here. We take advantage of this. And just beat down as best we can for now. Aether Theorist gets to scry during their upkeep. Looking for a land, unless I sacrifice my 3/3 to Voltage Surge the Theorist, which I don't think is the correct line. If I didn't have to sack a creature to kill the Theorist, then I would kill it there before they untapped. but I'd have to sacrifice one of my cards. Just not quite worth it. There's a Sailor of Means, a 1/4, which blocks our 3/3. Kind of annoying, we'll have to spend a burn spell on it. And gives them a treasure to help them ramp up. Now I could hold up Cancel. If I don't flip my 3/3 and attack with it, I think I still want to pressure them while they're on 3 lands. Could play out bad for me, this could be wrong, but keep that pressure going. I think I'll go for the Magma Spray, so that I still have Voltage Surge plus the 3/3 if they play something that really needs to be killed that has 4 or more toughness. Then I still have that option of 2-for-1ing myself to kill it. Alright, they're just going to pass the turn with all their mana up. Let's get all my mana down and have a bunch of responses up. Or whatever weird stuff happens here. Just attack for 5 and play a beefy Seize the Storm card. I guess it's just a 3/3 for now, but will be beefy over time. Again, just trying to find a kill in like 2 more attacks, so I'm not holding up Cancel here. Omen of the Sun, get a couple 1/1s. Draw for turn. Play land number 5. And there's the Spar's Adjudicators, which shuts off one of my attackers for a turn. And they will choose the flyer. Okay, play the Desert of the Fervent, and then I have Seize the Storm up next turn. For now, I play Spirewinder for another flyer, I hold up Cancel. I think since I'm about to have 2 creatures getting bigger, if I have more instants and sorceries in my grave, I want to play to get to where I'm casting my instants and sorceries, so I'm going to hold up Cancel and try to counter whatever they do. Make them bigger. Although, is it better to have 2 4/4 tramples? Or 2 3/3 tramples and a 2/3 flyer? Actually, it's going to be a 3/4 flyer. Yeah, when you think about it that way, a 3/4 flyer is really big here. So let's drop the Spirewinder and just hold up the Voltage Surge. Meeting of Minds to draw 2. Excellent, excellent card. 0 mana instant, draw 2 cards. Pretty fair. There's the Vanquish the Weak on the Spirewinder. That is a bummer. There's Of One Mind to draw 2. Some more incredible card advantage stuff. I feel like I'm playing against the exact same opponent. We just haven't seen Rafine yet this time. Well, goodbye, Cancel. I mean, they buffed my Dork, at least. Let me keep my Cancel. Get rid of my burn. Avian Oddity, so I can send one of my tramplers into the sky? Or just play another flying creature, which is probably better. I guess I do have enough mana to play this and hold up cancel still. Probably just do that. I mean, they know I have a cancel, but still stops them from playing anything super scary. This still kills them in 3 attacks. So if I just drop these on the board, keep attacking them, and just counter anything that would stop these from killing them, I should be good. Well, I mean, I have to. That would kill Cloud Concealer and gain them 2 life. Just saying how I need to try to keep these things all on board. Ixalan's Binding. Okay. Well, we countered the one that was worse for us, which would be the one that killed one of our cards and gained them life. That one just kills one, that's it. Trade my Seize the Storm Elemental for a 4/4 and a 1/1 to start clearing the path a bit. Feels pretty good. And then we drop a gigantic hexproofer, now that the path is a bit more clear. Air Cult Elemental, well that is really good. Kill my token and get a 2/5 flyer. That's 5 power against my Riverwinder. But I clear out the flyer for the Cloud Concealer. What a disgusting 2-for-1 that was. Kill my token and get a gigantic flyer. Our opponent already has mountains of card advantage. They don't need to be finding free 2-for-1s off of cards that are usually just put a card back in a hand and get a flyer. Salvager of Secrets. That's probably really bad. For me, they can draw 2 more cards, or they can Moment of Craving my flyer and gain 2. Yep, those are both very not good for me. And they're going to choose the draw 2, and they have an Aven Eternal. It's time for the classic. Guess I should keep these in case I draw Phylath, but now I get to sit here for another 10 minutes and wait for them to kill me. So time to edit down the next few turns. Oh my god, they would have the mythic rare uncommon Lingering Souls as well. For 4 1/1s off 1 card. Should have still kept that land.
You should be Flattered I decided to talk to you. I adore an audience.
Okay, I'm not playing this game anymore. Oh, alright. Hopefully we'll play against a different archetype game 3, but just another Esper value deck with a mountain of 2-for-1s there to grind out the late game. Going to crush us when they have this high of card quality throughout. Go for the throw it in there and stuff. Unsealed Necropolis there was about to pick up Air Cult Elemental and Spar's Adjudicators. They get to replay the Air Cult Elemental, get a 2/5 flyer, and kill my 6/6 trample token, while hitting me for like 8 in the sky that turn. Very disinterested in playing any more of that game. We are 2-2 as we head into Game 5. And here we are for Game 5 with excellent mana in terms of the colors. It's a pretty slow hand of mana though, because they all come into play tapped, but I will definitely keep it here. Got the Seize the Storm, we've been drawing that a lot lately. Forbidden Friendship, get a 1/1 Dino with haste and a 1/1 human. They are green, blue, red, and white, with 4 colors of mana available on turn 3, which is very absurd. They get a Gateway Sneak. Okay. I don't have removal big enough to kill that right now, and that's an issue. That's going to be a 2-for-1 minimum. I can play a Boggart Brute and hope they don't have removal. Then I get to trade with it on blocks. Well, not trade with it, I get to just hold it off here. But I gotta wait till I have a 4th land to kill the Gateway Sneak and stop them from drawing extra cards. My alternative line here was to just play Desert of the Fervent, let them cash in the Sneak's card draw. And then I would guarantee that I have a 4th land next turn to Chandra's Outrage. But looks like this works out fine. It holds off the Sneak for a turn, so even if it manages to hit me and draw a card next turn, that'll still be just as many cards as it would have drawn if I went for my other line. Deploy for 2 1/1 flyers, and they gain 5 life since they have 5 creatures out. Now they just start chipping away with the flyers. We're down to 15. Chain Whip Cyclops. Can shut off blockers, right? Yeah, for 4 mana. So I've got the Bombard to deal 4 damage to that for 3 mana. And I'll still have a Voltage Surge up if I really need it, but mainly that'll kill the one important card. Because if I leave this on board, they're going to shut off Brute as a blocker, and got a really bad time from there. I should probably Chandra's Outrage, because I don't think I'm going to Voltage Surge anybody. So we Outrage so that my cheaper removal spell is still in my hand for later. But I do need to kill that before they untap, so they can't shut off my Brute as a blocker. There's Metropolis Sprite for more flyers. Now they can hit me for 4 in the sky every turn. 2 from the 1/1s and 1 from the potential 2/1 Metropolis Sprite. So I need to have 1 mana up to Voltage Surge that. So we just pass, holding up Voltage Surge, flipping our token. I actually don't have a second blue source for my cancel, which is disgusting. And now they've got a Nebelgast Intruder. I can't counter because I don't have a second blue. Can Voltage Surge that, since that one doesn't cost the mana to make it 2 power. So we'll just kill that one. I guess I could have still waited till their turn to do it, but I don't really need the mana up because, again, I can't cancel anyway. Let them attack in, let them spend the 1, and then we shoot the sprite. Not that I think they need the mana, but I might as well. Got a few flyers in my deck. If I draw any of them, I should be fine. I guess the 2-1 only trades into one of them, but trading into one of them is enough, because then I throw another removal spell wherever it's needed. Try to outrace the flyers with Seize the Storm now. I get a 5/5 Trampler. Yeah. Probably the best bet. We gotta start racing them if we can't clear out all the flyers. Without, 10 mana worth of Dryad's Fire Nados. Ramanap Ruins. Uh-oh, that speeds up the clock. Another 2 damage to my face. Could be very bad. Down to 9. Find a Phylath, but I only have 5 lands. So let's cycle the Riverwinder. Really needed to find a land there. I might hit 6 mana before I hit double blue, and then I can't even Snow Day, which would be super bad. Actually, probably shouldn't be attacking here. Because with a Ramanap Ruins on the board, this is giving them more opportunities to find a wide enough attack to kill us. Yeah, I don't think I should be attacking. Kind of just defaulted back to my try to outrace the Flyers game plan. But now is not a time where it's going to be particularly easy to race. They're just going to Ruins right now. They hit me for 3 on board. They're just going to send in the Flyers. I'm down to 5. Serpentine Curve for a 3/3. There's land 6, but it's not a blue source for Snow Day. How? Alright. Think I have to just Fire NATO a Flyer now and start doing that each turn. Oh, there's the blue source. Alright. I'm gonna hold this land for Phylath. Next turn we're gonna go Island Snow Day, and then we'll go Phylath Mountain after that. Down to 4. There's Island. Shut off the Flyer and the 3/3. Take like 1 on the crackback. Unless they have a counterspell here, but that'd be kind of bold in their 4-color deck. It's like a double blue counterspell. It'd have to be like negate for blue and 1. Well, now I have to cancel and die? Cancel, block, take 3. If I don't cancel, I very much die. They're 13, so if they attack me with everybody, they die on the crackback. Wait, no they don't, because I have to lose a creature to trade into the 3/3. They almost die on the crackback. If I can cast enough spells, I can kill them on the crackback. So go to 1. Snow Day. What do I put the counters on? A plant I control. I just need to find 3 damage. If I Snow Day and draw into my 3 damage burn spell, it'll kill them, and Snow Day still keeps me alive for a turn at least. If I don't hit what I need. There's a 3 damage burn spell, but I have to hold up a blocker here. Now I just try to Frost Trickster plus Fateful End next turn. Hold up 2 blockers to play around removal. Okay. Here's Frost Trickster. There's their counterspell. Fateful End, I think, is still lethal. 11, 12, 13, 14, and I have Trample. Yeah, still lethal. So we just boop. 12 damage coming at them. They can stop 1 point. Okay, really close game. That lack of a second blue source was looking really bad for us for a while. And we were just looking across at the other side like Squidward out the window, seeing their 4-color deck with all the colors. I was like, please. Why? But we do manage to get there in the end, and we are now 3-2, getting at least 1,000 gems back out of this event. At least a 50-50 average run. And here we are for game number 6. We just cannot stop drawing Seize the Storm. Gonna be in all the openers all day long. Don't mind having it all the time. It is a little better to draw it a few turns into the game rather than in your opener, but still a great card. Let's just Voltage Surge this thing before it does any Mentor nonsense. It's too explosive. There's a Blood Burglar, a little lifelinker. Tybalt's 1/1s are big enough to trade into that. Plus, as long as Tybalt's on board, it does not have lifelink anymore. They flash in a Goblin Firebomb for whenever they have 7 mana. Let's see the trick they've got here. Scorchmark my devil? Alright. There's Lamphead. Nothing to do till next turn, so we just pass. Could cycle this. Casting on one of their cards. I guess that's fine. I should have done that before I hit my land. Find a Jaya's Fire NATO to play next turn. Well, a little awkward. I don't really want to play that next turn, but in order to actually draw the card, I'll have to do that. Instead of something else, and they can just sack whatever I target to the Lamphead. Should probably target the Lamphead itself. Get rid of that ability for them. Take our 2 damage. That's it, no follow-ups. Then make our first Seize the Storm token. If Boggart Brute were big enough to block the Blood Burglar without dying, then I would have slammed that down instead to try to play around their first potential removal spell. But it looks like no removal yet. So we'll just slam down another one. Get both these tokens down. They've got 3 cards in hand. Twin Shot Sniper plus another removal spell. They have to 2-for-1 themselves to kill one of our tokens. Yep. Feels pretty good. The only way I have a big enough creature to just block the burglar is to not attack. Which I guess is fine. Ooh, find a striped Riverwinder. Guess I discard Boggart Brute, play the Abomination. Blow up our Elemental. I'm gonna take the trade here, I guess. They're down to 1 card. We can grind it out with the rest of these. Draw a card, discard a land, play a 5/5 hexproof, pass turn. And just the Riverwinder alone is probably enough. There's Unseal the Necropolis. They get to draw 2 cards here. Oh my god. It's going to be Gloomflame Mauler and Lauren's going to pick up Geistflame Reservoir. Or Twin Shot Sniper. Alright, spoke too soon. Unseal the Necropolis can do some ridiculous things for our opponent. There's the Lauren. Lauren is going to pick up the Geistflame Reservoir, which is just a big card draw engine mostly. If they play enough instants and sorceries, it'll also be able to burn some stuff. I guess I get to hold up the cancel here, which is nice. Play more evasive threats, hold up cancel, and just counter the Reservoir or the Gigantic Menace Dork. Either one is a pretty good target. If they play the Giant Menace Dork, we probably just Snow Day it. But I guess if I tap 6 mana for a Snow Day next turn, I don't have the mana up for cancel. Anyway, when they do cast the Reservoir. Yeah, I think I should just cancel this, because if I don't cancel it, I'm going to want a Snow Day, and if I Snow Day, I'm not going to have the mana up to cancel anyway. 11, not quite getting there. Could skewer Lauren, but I don't think I need to. Just Snow Day Lauren and whatever creature they play this turn and keep Skewer to shoot the face. Wow. Well, I'm glad I have a Hexproofer. It's a pretty good card. Gonna get in with Lauren, that's fine. Means no blocks for Lauren. Put them to 1 with Skewer, but I'd rather just Snow Day all their blockers during the end step here and kill them with Riverwinder. There's the Geistflame Reservoir. Draw a card. Find a Bone Splinters, but that Hexproof putting in major work. Now they have to just hold up the chump, and we can stun that. So they don't have the chump block, and they are going to scoop them up. We are now 4-2, breaking even at least out of our final draft. Good to have a positive win rate for our final draft in the mixed up Premier Draft format, and this means we are going to have a positive win rate overall if you tally together all the drafts. Definitely had some 2-3s in there, but most of them were like 3-3s and 4-3s. Our last couple were 7-win runs. Solid time overall. Did make up for it with our last few drafts, for sure. Rough mana for certain. Think I got a mulligan this. If I keep, I gotta just cycle Riverwinder and hope for red sources, which could play pretty poorly. Okay. Keep this. Still got issues as well. Get rid of the Riverwinder here. Probably. Although that kind of gives me a second mulligan if I need it. So maybe it's better to keep it. Get rid of cancel. Can't even cancel till I get another blue source anyway. No, I think I'm just gonna get rid of Riverwinder. We did immediately find our second blue source, but we are against red-white, so they're probably going to be super aggressive. And I'm not sure how much mileage we're going to get out of this cancel, but we'll find out soon. Oh yeah. 2 mana 2/2 into 3 mana 3/3. Is not looking good. Pass the turn, hold up Fateful End or cancel here. Blitz Automaton, 3/2 haste. Well, I could just Fateful End that if I really need to kill something. I think I'd rather kill the higher toughness attacker, because a 2/2 can trade into a 3/2. Drawn to a Spirewinder. I don't think that's great here. Getting to the point I have to just play a creature next turn. Well, if I draw Bombard, I guess I don't. Once I have 5 mana, I can just flip a 3/3 against their 2/2, which will be a big deal. I'm going to hold off here and see if they play a better spell I need to cancel. Just Bombard in the end step, take an extra 3 damage to see what they're doing. Goblin Morningstar, that's not good for me, because now a 3/3 still trades into their 2/2 because they have an equipment. Sky Marcher Aspirant for a potential flyer as well. Talk about aggro here. This is not good. Play a land and a creature, then the aspirant jumps into the sky. Oh my god, Sky Terror is basically just completely unblockable. And also if they play 2 creatures, the aspirant jumps into the sky. Well, that's gonna just crush us. Hey, Phylath. You're very cool, but it's too late, my friend. If I cast you, I'm just going to take 5 in the sky. And then take 5 in the sky again next turn and die. If I don't cast Phylath, I'm dead on the ground. I realize now I forgot to flip my egg, which obviously would have been better. But I don't think it really changes any of their attacks here, because they're just not going to attack on the ground right now anyway. Oh, never mind, I guess they are. They have just the plus whatever trample. Sure. Tell me with anything if they have that. Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to die anyway. Okay, well... Kind of a bummer of a final game there, just get aggroed out by some dorks. That was a very strong aggro deck from our opponent as well. They had the burn. The Sky Terror is just an insane card. 2 mana 2/2 Flying Menace, just double evasion, making it pretty much impossible to block. Alright. Well, 4-3 is probably a pretty reasonable record for this deck. Our one massive downside is our lack of a curve, just being a stack at 3 mana. We still have some pretty fun stuff and some pretty powerful stuff we can do, and we definitely saw that happen some games. Played a lot of elementals, but we just played against 5,000 removal spells, had a lot of elementals getting pacified and stuff, in our loss against like the Rafine and stuff like that. We had a bunch of pacified elementals, so I think Seize the Storm's a bit of an underperformer just because the elementals just kept getting killed by stuff. Phylath is a pretty big underperformer because we only got to actually resolve Phylath once, and that was in a game we already lost, so that's a pretty big bummer. We didn't get to play with our big splashy bomb rare. But overall, I still think the deck was pretty cool. It got to do some fun stuff. We certainly got to play with Seize the Storm a lot. We got to find a lot of damage with a bunch of flyers and evasive threats, so 4-3, not a terrible way to end it, and certainly helps balance us out, even us out after our couple of 7-win runs in a row these past couple of drafts, so gotta balance it all out, give some other people a shot. So we are 4-3 for the final mixed up Premier Draft. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you're interested in seeing some more videos like this, you can always like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link or the join button below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.